Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
All right, well, I'll find a spot.
Oh, we've already started
I'll find a
recording.
spot to cut that out. Because let me tell you, after last episode, you, sir, are on thin fucking ice.
Yeah, I am on thin ice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Film Majors.
Yes.
It's me, Zach.
It's me, Mick.
Do you hear that?
I do. That's the dishwasher.
Oh, yeah, the dishwasher is running. We probably got to turn that off, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
I just had a bug fly right into my nose.
I've had that too. This apartment, like the little one.
Yeah, there's like a little gnat that
Yes.
flies around and goes
Twice
into my nose.
I've snorted a live bug in this apartment. I think it's the same one. I think it's gotten a taste for cocaine. I think that's what it is. It goes in there going,
hunting
wow, woo, okay.
Yeah, Mick's been living a real, what are we thinking, Don Simpson type Jerry Bruckheimer
We've got a real
existence.
Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson
Wow.
vibe going on in this apartment.
Yeah, well, you know,
Hi,
it's
Dad.
so
Hi, Mom.
it's so hot that you really want to do a lot of a stimulant so that you're really nice and sweaty.
Yes.
But no, that was the sound of silence
The
as
sound of silence.
Alexis, for the first time
But it was inevitable.
in 51 episodes, we almost made it to a year. We almost made it to a year. Alexis is not present.
No, she's skipping out on this episode, but she has a good excuse. Ish.
She got free Beyonce
She got
tickets.
free Beyonce tickets.
And,
I mean,
like-
you can't be mad about that.
Like, technically, I can't be mad about it, because, like,
Yeah.
if I got free Beyonce tickets, I would go. But I didn't, and Alexis
Yeah.
did, and I'm mad about it. But fortunately, we have a substitute for Alexis.
yes.
We had someone
Yeah.
come in.
Who is on our show today? Who
Why
is
don't-
this?
Go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, my name is Sang, the Korean correspondent for today.
You're goddamn right.
That's-
You're goddamn right.
Thank God you said that. I was gonna say it, but it wouldn't have been as good coming from me.
No,
It's like-
no. You gotta tread lightly
Yeah.
now.
Well,
It's
Sang, thank you so much for being on our show.
Yeah,
dude. We've
Sang
been wanting
is-
you on here for a while.
Not only a man from Korea, but also a talented actor.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, it's
This
another
man's from in
great
front of the camera.
great perspective for talking about this film today.
Okay,
Sang,
thank you
it's a
for
pleasure to have you here.
No, thank you for having me. Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, and finally it's happening.
Yeah, Sang, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hold for music. Hold
for music. Hold for music. We have to actually pause.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that probably played.
Yeah, I
You
think
that
so.
played?
I think
yeah.
it's good.
But yeah, Sang, what you been up to this week? You seen any films? You seen any movies?
Yeah, you know, I was getting ready for today's podcast. I saw the remastered.
Well,
Oldboy.
you're gonna mention it right away.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into it later. But yeah, you went and saw the remaster.
Yeah, I saw the remastered. It was absolutely beautiful. I
Yeah.
have a lot to say. I did a bit of research on it, you know, on the
Nice.
year it came out and like
Fuck
what it
yeah.
means in a larger sort of Korean cinema history type thing.
I'm excited
yeah.
to get into it, but you also watched Uncharted at my house, so I don't understand why
Yes.
you're starting with
Ooh,
Oldboy.
wait, hold on. The Tom Holland one?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's only one.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't just
How
watch.
is that? As I haven't, because I was a huge fan of the game,
Yeah.
and I couldn't bring myself to watch it when they cast Tom Holland. Not especially Mark Wahlberg as Sully. That's
What are you
what.
talking about? Why are you being such a dick? It's me, Sully.
I can't hang.
Want to go find a treasure? Say hi
So
to your
how
motherfucker.
is that movie? Is it good?
That was the second time I was watching it.
Wow.
And I did not play the game. I only know it by reputation.
I have
That
also
it's
never
one of the
played the
greatest
game.
like adventure role playing games,
Right.
video games out there. I thought it was not great.
The way I would describe it
Shocking.
is that's
Absolutely shocking.
that is a movie meant to be caught halfway through on TBS.
Yeah.
Because like it's not terrible, but there is nothing remarkable about it. And
Which is so sad. 'cause it's
to be
such a
fair,
good-
we
such
were
a good
getting
game series.
pretty fucking plastered the
That too,
entire
yeah.
time.
Which
we
should
were,
help.
Yeah,
That should help.
I'm sure it did. I
I'm
would
sure
not.
it did.
Yeah, I would not have watched it otherwise.
Yeah.
So we had like rules, right? Like drinking rules for that. Like
Yeah.
when something came out on the screen.
Yeah, if Sully was said, you took a drink.
Lighter.
Yeah, if there's a lighter, if there's a chart, honestly, a hell of a lot of charts in a movie called Uncharted, kind of fucked up. I was promised a film where there would be little to no charts.
Yeah.
There's charts all over the goddamn place in that thing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing charts every other fucking frame.
Interesting.
So kind of, I felt like the promise of the film was not fulfilled. But yeah, those were the rules that I remember.
Hanging and climbing.
Hanging and climbing, yeah. But my real main takeaway from that movie is that it's not Mission Impossible.
No, for sure.
And
already that's a major demerit. Major fault.
Yeah. I mean, Sang could speak to that. We went and saw Mission Impossible together.
Oh, you did?
These are the two, because we went and saw Mission Impossible together.
Right.
And then Sang and I also went and saw Mission Impossible together.
This week.
With Sage, right?
No, it was a while back.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But
what did you think of Mission Impossible? Dead
Reckoning, it was great.
Yeah. Let's get back into Mission Impossible time. There's no rules to this. We can do what we fucking want. We can go where Alexis isn't here.
Yeah, that's right.
So she can't tell us not to talk about Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible was Dead Reckoning was really good. I thought the sort of what do you call it? Like the straight man bit from what's the actress's name?
Haley Atwell.
Haley Atwell. She plays a bit of the straight man where it's like from the audience's perspective, we know that this is the Mission Impossible genre, almost a genre of its own, really.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise does crazy stuff, but Maybe Atwell's like, you guys are really doing this.
Yeah, she doesn't understand that she's in a Mission Impossible
kind
movie.
of the audience surrogate a little bit.
Exactly. And I thought that was just so fun.
Yeah.
To play with that, kind of making it meta a bit.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I thought she was fucking phenomenal in that movie.
She kind of stole the show.
She was great. I'm so excited for part 2. But speaking of part 2s, I have to get into some fucking depressing news.
Oh yeah, no, they announced this when I was at work and I was really sad.
What?
Dune Part 2
has
been delayed until 2024, and let me just say, Warner Brothers, shame upon you.
Yeah, shame.
Cave to the goddamn demands of the unions.
Yeah, because it got postponed because of the
strikes, they were like,
wow.
The actors can't promote the movie, so it can't come out. And I'm like, people are gonna go see Dune. Shut up. Shut up. But, absolutely shameful behavior on the part of David Zaslav. And, tune into the next episode of the Purgecast, which should be out next week.
Oh.
Because, there might have some comments as to who we're hypothetically purging in a parody comedy podcast.
Yeah,
that
sure.
we cannot legally be held responsible for as the things we are saying, and that are jokes. Fuck you, Zach.
Yeah, that.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that news did make me sad. Obviously, we're still gonna get the film, but this year was shaping up to just be so good for big movies, and a big part of that puzzle was going to be Dune Part 2. And
that was my most anticipated movie of the year. I made a list that was number 1.
Yeah. That makes me sad. Because I think Napoleon and Dune were going to be playing at the same time, right? In theaters. That would have been so cool to have the both of those in theaters.
Napoleon. Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon. Can't wait.
Man.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We got to go see that.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Well, Mick, what do you got going on? What do you do?
I this last weekend, right when the hurricane Hillary, because we had an earthquake as well. Did either of you feel that?
I did.
I did not.
For a split.
I wasn't sure that I felt it because I was napping on the couch at the time, and then I got a text being like, "Did you feel the earthquake?" And I was like, "Oh, so I didn't dream that." Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, okay. But yeah, no. At that day, Sunday after we recorded, I did something I've never done before because it was really gray. It was really rainy, and that's spooky season weather for me. And so I've never watched The Shining and Doctor Sleep back to back.
Oh, cool!
As a double feature.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that was so much fun. I mean, I'm a big fan of those movies already, but for years I've only just watched The Shining, and then maybe a month later I'd watch Doctor Sleep, and et cetera, et cetera. But to put them just on back to back just gives me a bigger appreciation for each of them as independent pictures. Even though Doctor Sleep is technically a sequel, they're just very different films, and they complement each other so well. And it also just, you finish The Shining going, how the fuck are you gonna follow that up?
Yeah.
And then they kind of don't. They do their own thing, which I think is what makes Doctor Sleep work so much, is the fact that it forges its own path. One of our collectively favorite directors, Mike Flanagan, just he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
That's such a good film. Rebecca Ferguson is so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Holy
she
shit.
She can suck my soul out of my body anytime she wants.
Know. But honestly, that
Murder
scene,
me and drink my fear juice, Rebecca Ferguson.
That scene with the little kid, the baseball player.
Oh my god, yeah.
Is still really hard to watch.
Why am I blanking on his name? The kid from Room, Jacob Tremblay.
Right.
Yeah.
His acting in that is still like, it is a hard scene to watch.
Yeah.
Holy shit, when they straight up murder that kid.
Brutal.
And they show it, but they don't get graphically into it. What it is it's his acting.
Yeah, his face.
His face and him screaming like, I won't tell anybody, like, don't hurt me.
Apparently
like
the adult actors who were in that scene would like finish that scene and just be like super shaken up. And then Jacob Tremblay would just pop up and be like, all right, I'm going to go get some crafty now. Like, like in a fucking totally happy mood.
And I also think, if I recall correctly, Rebecca Ferguson either had just had a kid or was pregnant at the time. She would
have just had a kid because that was, I think, her first movie after Mission Impossible Fallout, which she is pregnant during.
Pregnant, right.
So crazy.
Yes. And I believe so she said like that was particularly difficult because she just had a kid and now she's straight up murdering this little boy. It's like, fucking hell. What actors have to do sometimes. Oh, God.
Yeah, saying, have you had to murder a child in anything?
I can't say that I have. Not yet.
Not yet. I was going to say,
I'll write you something. I'll make
Please.
sure you get to do that.
Please.
You know the one movie that I watched on the Hurricane Day after we recorded that slots nicely into our theme for this month, which is Asian cinema? I saw Godzilla for the first time.
Oh,
the original
the OG.
54 Godzilla.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That is a great movie.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal, like, very sad movie. Honestly, it would make a fucking great double feature with Oppenheimer.
Really?
Yes, because there's a point where, spoilers for a movie from 1954, there's a scientist who creates this weapon to kill Godzilla that's called, I think it's called the Oxygen Destroyer.
Oh,
you drop it in the ocean, it just sucks up all the oxygen, and he wants to destroy all of his research because he knows that this thing is going to be used as a weapon eventually against humanity. Yeah, and like someone else, there's another guy who like wants to keep Godzilla alive because Godzilla can survive nuclear blasts, so they want to study it.
Japan was working through some recent trauma.
Hugely.
Sometimes. Oppenheimer.
But particularly the guy who makes the Oxygen Destroyer, it is like a parallel character to Oppenheimer, like very clearly and intentionally, as like a guy who wants to do the right thing and turn away from this horrific discovery that's eventually going to destroy the world.
That's great. I'd love to watch it.
You should watch it. It's on fucking Max. I'm still mad.
Oh, it's not on Steve or Frank. It's on Max.
It's on Max. It's on Charlie as well.
Nice.
But I don't think not too many people have Charlie. More people have Max.
I have Charlie Plus.
Yeah.
No ads.
Wow. You got the ad-free Charlie.
The ad-free
Charlie. Watch all your Charlie content.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of Oppenheimer, I
want to speak about Charlie.
Well, I've been listening to the soundtrack of Oppenheimer lately, and something that I've said is that I think part of the secret sauce of Nolan films is Hans Zimmer's scores, and how it's kind of sad that they've parted ways, not for any particular reason other than just, to my understanding, scheduling conflicts, because Hans Zimmer is knee-deep in the Dune world right now, and thank God for that.
I listened to the Dune soundtrack yesterday.
His music for Dune is just so good, because that's something he said he's wanted to do since he started making music. But I've said that I wasn't a huge fan of the Tenet score. The guy, what's the composer?
Ludwig Göransson.
Right, who does the fantastic Black Panther soundtrack. I just wasn't crazy about the Tenet score, but man, listening to his Oppenheimer score is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he knocked it out of the park with that. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I just got to give him a shout out again.
Shouts out.
Shout
Ludwig.
out. Yeah.
Know you're listening.
Yeah, he's a big listener.
Yeah, saying I feel like you and Ludwig just like haven't crossed paths at this place. Like, you know, we hang out here a lot. Yeah, you'll meet him. Ludwig and I, we're good buddies. We're always hanging out.
Ludwig couldn't make today's. He's also at the Beyonce concert.
Yeah.
No.
Although he didn't get free tickets. I mean, he can afford his own tickets.
He can afford it.
He doesn't need handouts.
Gonna fucking spend this whole goddamn episode slandering you, Alexis. Slandering you for daring to have fun.
How dare you?
You should be in this hot apartment with us right now.
Yeah. Also, what's been going on with me? Neither of you have commented on it. I currently have eyeshadow on right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Yeah. So the reason I was late today
is because you were making new style choices, and I salute you for it.
Yes, because I just got out of the nun makeup. Because my lovely girlfriend is a makeup artist and is doing nun makeup for the premiere, which is not a scab move. Because the actor who she's doing it on is not an actual actor, so they're not SAG.
They're doing a similar thing to what Disney did, for fucking Haunted Mansion, where they like have characters out on the red carpet instead of actual actors.
So she's doing the premiere, and she had to do just like some test makeup for Warner Brothers, and so the last 3 hours I've been in the makeup chair with nun makeup, and so.
Do you have pictures?
Yes, I do. And this is just a test. We're going to do it again later tonight. We're going to do airbrushing this time, but
that is interesting. I would have thought that they already had like a set makeup design for.
They do. They needed someone to do the makeup.
Oh, wow.
I don't have the teeth, and I don't have the contact lenses in this, but
that's so fucking good.
It was good. It only took about an hour and a half. And it was a good time. I have a time lapse of it too, which I might post later.
Excellent. Yeah, follow us, Film Majors Pod, on Instagram, and you can see the image. We'll post it.
Yeah,
because this is such a visual medium.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't very good for the for radio.
We love a sight gag on the
Look
radio.
at this,
guys.
Look at the detailing. But no, I've never had my makeup done by a professional makeup artist before, and that was a lot of fun. Like we had latex bits that like glued my eyebrows down and shit. It was fun. It was a good time. Yeah, so that's why I have eyeshadow on, because I couldn't get that off before I came. Wiping like frantically, like getting this shit off.
You're always wiping frantically. I can hear you in the bathroom.
My hiney's so soft and shiny.
That's the first thing Mick fucking said when he walked into this goddamn apartment.
I bought Ultra Charmin. Today's episode is brought to you by Ultra Charmin toilet paper.
Yeah, no, we're sponsored.
3 plies thick. Wow. Zach, can you stand up for a second?
No.
Please.
I don't want to.
Why are you wearing those pants?
Because my other clothes are dirty and I need to do laundry.
I've never seen you in activewear before.
You've never seen me in activewear?
Like, you wear basketball shorts and you wear, like, a tank top when you go to the gym, but I've never seen you in, like...
breathable.
Like ventilation clothing.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's actually kind of a good choice for recording right now.
Yeah,
because it's so hot in this
that's
apartment.
smart. That's really smart.
Again, this is another visual bit that you got to check out. My ass mesh shorts that I have on right now.
Well, Sam keeps telling us, like, you really should, like, start...
Filming the podcast. Yeah, we should probably put it on YouTube at some point.
Because she's like, you'll probably get a bigger following.
Yeah.
Because people love YouTube, man.
Yeah,
they don't watch it. They listen to it. But that's the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Even though, but then again, I have to look good. And
no,
I don't want
you
to
don't.
Do that. I don't want to do that.
You actually don't have to.
That's true.
That's
the
secret that people don't want you to know is that you can look like shit. And talk to people.
That's
I do it every day.
That's our main message here. Look like shit and talk to your friends.
Don't groom yourself.
Except when you have the eyeshadow appointment right before.
Yeah, then you should.
Yeah, there you go.
You're looking good.
Thanks.
It's a good look for you. You got some sexy, smoky eyes.
I know. I kind of like it. I think this is the new me.
The new you.
Because everything I do now is just a little bit more dramatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Robert Pattinson, Batman coded.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. But that's pretty much what's going on with me in the movie world.
Sang, you got anything else going on? You seen any other films other than Uncharted?
Actually, you like when you were mentioning Oppenheimer. I did see Oppenheimer this week.
Oh,
That was
nice.
my first
For your
watch.
first time. Well,
Yeah.
tell us
What'd
your
you think?
thoughts.
I was because I was like pushing it back, because I was wanting to watch it in IMAX 70 millimeters, but it was
Right.
like, and I don't schedule my weeks
Right.
very well. I
Nah.
don't plan anything after like 1 week in advance and shit like
Right.
that. So the days, like every single days, were being like filled in the Universal AMC. So I just made a choice. I went at 11 p.m. Walked out at 2:30.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
That's, I think, the same showing I went to. Yeah.
But yeah, there were a lot of interesting choices, and one of them that I talked over with my roommate Sage. Shout out to Sage Cypher.
Check out the Purgecast.
Purge.
Purgecast, exactly. Is that I didn't. So I liked the choice, but I wasn't sure if there was any like deeper meaning to this decision, which was having Robert Downey's scenes black and white.
Oh.
Yeah.
And if that was like an indication of like a time, like, oh, this has happened before.
It is an indication
Right.
of
Perspective.
its perspective. What is it? It's
Perspective.
everything that is in color, I believe, is subjective. If I remember correctly, and then everything in black and white is objective. I think, right?
I
Or is
thought
it the other
was,
way around?
I thought it was black and white is Downey. The more desaturated stuff is Oppenheimer's perspective, like the stuff in the interrogation.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the more vibrant stuff is objective.
Interesting.
I
Okay,
thought that was what it
I
was.
hadn't heard that.
But that I might be wrong.
Because I remember actors said that was written into the script, where like they never read a script before where it's from like the hero's perspective, where things are like
Written in first person.
right, where it's like, and then I saw this, and then I did this, and then I thought this, and then the other portions of the script are completely objective, the third person, and that's when it changes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I need to do a second watch on that.
No,
yeah,
I
I still haven't done a second watch, and I really want to.
I've seen it twice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I saw it in, I think it was just regular 70. No, actually, I think it was just a digital projection, which was fine. But no, we are all really lucky that we live in LA, and like it's really hard to see this film in actual 70 millimeter IMAX, projected on film.
Yeah, I gotta
in
go.
2 of the theaters
Yeah.
are here.
What's the other one?
Universal and the Chinese theater.
The Chinese theater's
right?
playing it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw the Matrix at the Chinese. It was so fucking sick.
That's cool. Was that on film?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Saw it on film at the Chinese. I went with Sloane, my girlfriend, who had not seen the Matrix and was not really familiar with the concept of the Matrix.
Wow, at all. Wow.
So like the reveal that the Matrix is a simulation came as a fucking surprise to her. She was like, "Whoa!" And I was like, "I'm so jealous of you right now. I am. You are getting to watch the Matrix completely fucking clean." Because like even when I saw it for the first time when I was like 12, I feel like I knew that the Matrix was a simulation. Like that had just like through cultural osmosis, like sort of absorbed for me.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
my
yeah.
story.
Anything else on Oppenheimer?
Personal opinion, if it's okay.
That's totally
what
okay.
this whole show is.
The whole show is personal opinion.
Like top 3 Nolan movies, I personally wouldn't put Oppenheimer in my top 3.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your top 3?
I would say Dark Knight,
Yeah.
Interstellar, and maybe Inception or Prestige.
Hell yeah, Interstellar.
I do love Prestige. I think a
Interstellar-
lot of people sleep on that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Interstellar got like kind of clowned on for being like as sincere as it is. I really like that movie.
Yeah, I've been a kind of an Interstellar non-believer for a while, but then when I saw it recently with you,
Yeah, we watched it
and
right before Oppenheimer and
The
Roommate. The
Roommate.
Roommate, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I am starting to warm again to Nolan. And again, I think just part of that was like people were just so obsessed with him. Like he can do no wrong. And then he came out with The Dark Knight Rises, which...
I think that's his worst movie.
Well, I would agree. like in terms of all of the elements visually, it's a stunning film. The Dark Knight Rises, like with just the amount of extras, the amount of action, the production design, but as it's the ethics of it. Well, then I won't say the ethics. The politics of it are really cringe.
Whack.
It's very Thin Blue Line.
Yeah, it's very pro-cop.
Or it's just, Thin Blue Line pro-cop is just another way of saying fascist.
Yeah, it is
It's
a little bit fascist.
I see.
But it also fucking has Tom Hardy.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I have a full roll of toilet paper shoved in my throat, Batman.
Also, Sang, you were in a movie called The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Sang was in a feature film called The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Which one?
What?
Which
The
one
other-
were you?
the other one.
The other one.
It's the Korean one.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So in Korean, it's the dark. It translates into the Dark Knight without the K. So like a Dark Knight.
A Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the whole premise of that movie, which was an independent feature film that I was involved in when I was back in Korea.
Oh shit.
We'll definitely have a watch it.
Yeah, I really want to watch this movie.
You still haven't watched it.
Yeah, we need to.
I was gonna bring it up on the Uncharted day.
Was that what you were going to show us?
Well, that or another like
You
Korean
watched
feature.
Uncharted instead of
I
his
feel like you're
film?
not understanding how Jacoby is in town and how you're gonna watch
You're gonna
garbage
watch
when
crap
Jacoby
movies.
is here.
And yeah,
That's cool, dude.
It was already on and stuff. Yeah, but basically the whole premise of that story was there's a bunch of college kids who'd seen The Dark Knight and become Nolan fans, and they're like, hey, let's make our own movie.
Yeah.
And so
cool.
yeah, and I'm just there being like the sort of junior kid learning the ropes, and then like eventually like taking the mantle and then like continuing it further type of stuff. Yeah, and at the very end of it, there's actually a very well like filmed. I think it's like 10 minutes of like a very well filmed like movie.
Yeah.
That's the actual movie that, according to the story of the movie, is the movie that we produce in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell
AFI
yeah.
cinematographer, bro. Like.
Really?
Yeah. Guy
Wow.
was an AFI. He came back to do it. So
cool.
there's like a 2-year gap between the movie, between like the first part and the second part of the movie. But yeah, the guy came back all the way from AFI after he graduated to finish filming it.
Wow.
And it was just.
That's awesome.
That's super cool, dude.
Yeah, it
Holy
seems
shit.
like One Cut of the Dead ripped you guys off. I've brought this up before.
You did.
Yeah.
Was
And
One Cut of the Dead
The movie.
Korean?
No, Japanese.
that's
That
a
was
Japanese,
a Japanese
movie.
film. That's right.
Yeah, the movie that like opens as a zombie movie, and then
Yeah.
you realize that you're watching the film that they made. Yeah.
So cool.
fun fact: we did a Japanese like a showing.
Yeah.
And then I think, was it before or after that? Like One Cut of the Dead kind of like came. Oh no, sorry. We did a Korean film festival showing, and then about like several months later, like One Cut of the Dead came up, and we were like, "What?" We were like,
God.
Excuse
but
you.
of course that wasn't the case. But you know,
Right.
we
Yeah,
like to
I mean
make fun.
it's too close to actually
Yeah,
be true, but you know what?
exactly.
I'm gonna accuse them of thievery right now.
It's still fair to be angry about it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We're mad about Alexis not being here. You know,
Jesus.
she's just having fun.
That's right. That's cool. Wow. Holy shit.
Well, I think that's as good a place as any to hop on out of what's going on.
Pogo stick our way out of here.
And we're back.
We
Nick,
are
stop looking at porn on your
back.
phone.
Look
Stop.
at these. Yeah, but look at these knockers.
Stop calling them knockers.
Swing low.
Oh boy.
Sweet.
Yeah, we take one break and this dude's just like,
chariot.
hold on, I gotta watch something for research, and it's just porn.
Just porn.
He's just watching. He's
He's
not
so
even
addicted.
He's not like he's
Put
not
it down.
jerking off or anything. He's just watching porn.
I
sitting
can't.
there.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's a good angle."
Yeah.
That's a,
Yeah. So
The
we're
Dutch
out of
angle
what's-
is an interesting choice for this.
It tells you that the world is askew.
It is.
So we're out of what's going on.
That's right. And we're in porn corner now. Porn.
Yeah,
What
let's
have you been watching?
Let's start Asian Cinema Month with Porn Corner.
Porn Corner.
Great. Yes, it is our first episode of Asian Cinema Month. We're gonna every year do cinema from a different continent during 1 month. Well, don't know if it'll always be September, but that's the plan. And we're gonna kick it off with a big topic about the best fight scenes ever put to film.
Yeah.
Because the movie we are talking about today, man, I'm building up some spit in my mouth right now. The movie we are talking about today, has one of the most iconic fight scenes ever put to film.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Mick, what are some of your favorite fights?
Some of my favorite
What
fights.
are some of the best fights you've ever seen? Slap it around.
Well, I do have to say, and we've actually never mentioned this on the show before, but there's this one fight scene that's so good. It dun 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 dun. Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
The bathroom fight.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh man,
The guns of
the guns on
Man of
fucking
Steel.
Henry Cavill.
He reloads his arms in the middle of this fucking bathroom brawl. It's incredible.
It's amazing.
It has to be seen to be believed.
Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill, and I wish I could remember the name of the stuntman.
He's in the Raid.
He is in the raid. He's also he was in Game of Thrones as well.
Oh.
Is it Ico something?
Something. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh man, that's gonna bother me. But he's fucking great. The guy who's playing the fake John Lark. The moment when he just like starts waking up after they knocked him out in the stall, and then like unleashes a flurry of blows onto both of them that are like insane. So fucking good. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, it is incredible, and it's also what I love about it is Tom Cruise, Liang Yang, I think.
Liang Yang.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and what I love about it is you have Henry Cavill playing, spoiler alert,
The villain.
John Lark. And then you have Tom Cruise playing Ethan Hunt. And, these are two men that are not accustomed to getting their asses kicked.
Yeah.
But, man,
They just take
they
a fucking
get
beating.
a fucking beating by this one dude. And he throws him through mirrors and just fucking uses the
Elsa
pipe
didn't-
from that sink as a weapon.
Yeah.
If Ilsa didn't show up at the end of that scene, Ethan's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he would have died.
Yeah, he loses that fight. There's a gun on him, and then Ilsa saves his ass.
I love that fight scene. That is so good. That's my first pick.
Good pick. Sang, you got any fights that come to mind?
Oof. I don't know if this is like, because I'm also like not a huge like educated or like cultured cinephile.
Come on,
but
you watch movies.
I would say honestly, for me, a fight scene that really blew my mind when I saw it was the one in Kingsman,
Yeah.
the church fight scene.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
The
man.
Church Massacre is really
That
good.
fight
I like that fight.
unsettles
Because
me.
that was so well choreographed, and like the camera action on that just goes everywhere, and the close-ups. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's one of my favorite, like, fake oneers. Because, that sequence is, like, stitched together with some CGI.
Well, what's
Yeah,
effective about that fake oneer, and what is a fake oneer? Basically, you have a oneer which is a very long, unbroken take,
Which we will
is
be talking
very
about
impressive,
later.
especially with a choreographed fight scene. But what kind of gives it away is I really enjoyed The Northman. But that fake oneer that they do when the Vikings
are storming that town, the Berserkers.
The Berserkers are storming that fort. They're pretty obvious. Like, you go up, they swipe behind a pillar, or a horse goes by, and it's, like, pretty obvious.
Yeah,
but
those are classic, like, in-camera tricks
Yes.
to make something look like a
you
a
hide
one take.
the edit when an object swipes the foreground.
Interesting.
But what's so effective about the Kingsman is that it's so quickly paced that it's a benefit to the editor that things are happening so quickly that it's damn near impossible to notice where those fake cuts are.
Yeah, because it's speed ramped.
Exactly, and that's what's so effective about it. But I will say, I don't love that fight scene.
Well, controversial.
No, but because it's so long.
It is.
And so graphic that by the time it's getting to the end, like when the guy's head catches on fire and he shoots him in the head and impales him on a pole, like, it honestly unsettles me.
Yeah.
To the point of, like, I'm kind of disturbed right now.
Yeah.
But that's a personal thing.
That seems like a skill
That's
issue.
kind of a compliment. I mean, that's really a compliment to the filmmakers.
Yeah.
It's nothing with the choreography. It's nothing. It's incredible. But it like kind of fucking disturbs me a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see, the thing
But
about
a great
that
pick.
fight scene
I gotta
is
hand it
that
to really good one.
Freebird is playing during it, so I'm hyped up the whole goddamn time. Yeah. Let me tell you, if the guitar solo from Freebird comes on when I'm driving a car, I'm going to be fucking crashing that thing. Just going to be speeding down the goddamn freeway.
Also, it's just like in that scene, you see like old people, men, women, like it's everybody, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, these are bad guys that are fighting each
It's
other.
not a bunch of
like,
goons.
Yeah, this is like just a plain old anybody just like killing each other.
Yeah.
Because why? Like, because brain
Although,
waves.
what I do love...
It is basically the Westboro Baptist Church.
I was going to say, it's like these far-right evangelicals that are getting decimated,
Yeah, like
which helps. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Actually, I take back my comments about it being disturbing. Burn, motherfucker, burn.
Okay, so a fight scene that I need to bring up is from the end of The Legend of Drunken Master.
Oh,
with Jackie Chan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was going to pick a fight from that movie, and it wasn't going to be that one, but that's a damn good choice.
It's so good that
That's
if
in
you,
the steel plant,
Yep.
I
Yes,
believe.
it's in a steel manufacturing plant, and Jackie Chan, whose character has studied drunken boxing, and when he gets drunk, becomes
better.
more and more powerful.
Yeah.
Eventually consumes the Chekhov's gun of this movie, which is industrial grade alcohol that's set up at the beginning. You see it, and you're like, well, he's probably not going to drink that, right?
Yeah.
Guess again. He's like spits it out at one point, and like through flames.
He vomits it.
Yeah, he vomits
He drinks
fire.
it and then like kind of regurgitates it and spits it out. And what's great about that is when it happens, the villain like they cut to a reaction shot of him going, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he looks
like he's
so scared.
Yeah, which you should be.
Yeah,
Like-
it's over for you.
And I love that when you have a fight where you know, that, okay, the hero's gonna win, and it's just like you eat it up because
Yeah.
the villain's like, I'm fucked. I lost this
One
movie.
of my favorite fucking tweets of all time is someone just like wrote out, "Wow, me and my 50 friends have cornered Jackie Chan in a building and he only has a chair and a table with him. Surely we've got him this time."
Nope.
Guess again, fucker.
His ability to use furniture
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a weapon of mass destruction.
So here's another
incredible.
fight. In the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yep,
there's
yep.
a fight where Splinter, who is voiced by Jackie Chan, shows up, and fights a bunch of guys, and there is a point where he uses a chair,
Like the,
like a
wheels.
rolling chair
Yeah.
to kick the shit out of people, and I'm like, way to pay some fucking respect to a grand
Exactly.
cinematic tradition.
Yeah. No, that's that is a really great
There's
choice.
also like a very like subtlety to when Jackie Chan uses those furnitures. It's never it never seems intentional.
No.
He's not like, I'm gonna use this as a weapon. It's like he just flings it and it like just accidentally happens to.
Right.
Like there's this like comedy aspect to it where it's like, does this guy actually know what he's doing, or is he just like
He's
happened as a
scrambling.
coincidence?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about it.
Yeah, that is like, the difference between, arguably the two most famous martial arts stars of all time, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Is, Bruce Lee, like, always seemed cool and
Yep.
in control, and Jackie Chan always seems like he's fucking flying by the seat of his pants,
Exactly.
which is something that I really do think Tom Cruise has taken for
Yep.
the Mission
Yeah.
Impossible movies.
Yep.
Is like Ethan Hunt becoming more and more this guy who's just like, I don't know, I'm gonna work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Harrison Ford from Indiana Jones, where it's like, and then you're like, I'm gonna get the truck, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna speed. Like, how you gonna do that? He's like, I don't know, making this up as I go.
Yeah.
like that's a great action hero right there.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's another movie with some great fights too.
Yes.
The fight by the airplane with the giant bald Nazi.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love that fight. I go back and listen to our Indiana Jones episode, but I brought this up on that episode. I love that his first 3 moves in this fight against this big guy are to distract him by like pointing out something on his shoe and then uppercutting him.
Yes.
Kicking him in the balls, throwing sand in his eyes, and biting him. It's just like the most dishonorable, scrappy fighting. But you know what you gotta do? When you're in a fight.
Exactly. Especially against a big Nazi.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
Yes.
fine to kick him in the balls.
Yeah.
Pocket sand.
I'm trying to pick a fight from
Trying to pick a fight, bro?
John Wick.
Oh, see, that's so. funny you mentioned that. That like the staircase fight scene from John Wick 4 was my contestant for that with Kingsman, because honestly, after I saw Oldboy, it actually reminded me a lot about the staircase fight scene because it's so long. And like John Wick literally falls all the way back down to the bottom.
Yeah, where the audience collectively goes, "Oh, right, shit!"
And he's getting so tired.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
There's
also
so
many good fights in those movies.
Yeah.
I love that fight scene was like put in the movie by the director because he was like, I knew that Keanu like hated walking up a ton of stairs.
Some of the best things come from directors torturing their star.
Listen, Sam Raimi made a whole fucking career out of it.
Yeah. Fuck, I was going to mention one. Okay. I just say that my favorite fight from John Wick 4, though, it's got to be the Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga.
Oh, yes.
God, that
Keela by name, Keela by nature.
Yeah, what's his name? Adam Scott? Is it? No, that's the
not
comedian.
Adam Scott. Oh my God, why am I drawing
From
a blank
Parks
on
and Rec.
this? Scott Adkinson.
Scott Adkinson, yeah. When he's in a fat suit, and the waterfall fountain fight is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So bubbly.
So good.
The
Man.
one in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
That was great.
That is a fucking incredible hand-to-hand fight. But you know what else is an incredible hand-to-hand fight? The hallway scene.
In?
2003's Oldboy.
Ooh, good choice.
I think that one's pretty good. Now, if you don't know, Oldboy is a 2003 film. It is directed by Park Chan-wook. And Sang, I'm going to throw to you because at the end of last episode, I tried to pronounce some actors' names and I might have fucking butchered it.
Yeah. I was going to say my pronunciation of some of the Korean names, like guilty as charged. I was very nervous coming onto this yesterday. So I practiced. and did some.
You practice.
Well, during my research, I was like, how am I going to say this? And I caught myself like saying it like Park Chan-wook or Park Chan-wook, which is like the Korean way to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, which one do I choose? And, you know, I'm going to go by my Koreanness.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, Godspeed, it's Asian Cinema Month,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's Choi Min-sik, who plays Odesu. And there's, what's her name? Oh, God. Wait. I have her name up here. Kang Ye-jung. Kang Ye-jung plays, what's
Mido?
Mido. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have, wait, let me
The guy who plays Woo Jin.
Yes, let me.
Oh,
I
that
can't believe
bastard.
I actually have.
He's so cool.
He's
I like him.
bastard.
I like him.
Funny thing about him. So, not like a personal thing, but like after Oldboy, it was hard for him to get any roles because
was
he
it?
played that so well.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
And it was just so sad because he killed that.
Yeah.
He killed it. But yeah, yes, here we go. So, Yoo Ji-tae is Woojin's actual Korean name. You have one of my favorite actors, Oh Dal-soo, who plays the guy.
Oh, the guy with the teeth?
Yes, the guy with the
grills?
teeth
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
and the hand.
Yeah.
He's one of my like favorite actors. Unfortunately, he had a bit of issue with like some sexual harassment suits.
Oh,
Yeah, very sad. I don't know how that like concluded or like what that resulted into, but
Right.
yeah,
Kind
it
of
was
a
very
Paul,
sad.
kind
It
of a
was very
Paul Rubens
sad.
situation. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the plot real quick.
Yep.
Dae-soo is an obnoxious drunk bailed from the police station yet again by a friend. However, he's abducted from the street and wakes up in a cell where he remains for the next 15 years, drugged unconscious when human contact is unavoidable, otherwise only the television as company. And then, suddenly released, he is invited to track down his jailer with a denouement that is simply stunning. Yeah, the denouement is pretty fucking stunning. You know, Sang, I'll throw to you first. When did you first see Oldboy?
Oof. I would say, because I was thinking back to this, I believe it was about like 12 years ago, which for me, that's when I was 16.
Yeah.
And it was on TV on one of the channels called OCN, which, you know, sometimes they put up movies and stuff like that. And my dad was watching it, and I missed a bit of the first bit. like the first like 10 minutes or so.
Right.
But like I got back like home and he was just watching TV. He was watching Oldboy and I was like, what is this? He's like, oh, this is like one of Korea's like best classics.
Yeah.
Come sit down. And I did. Later to realize that it was an R-rated movie.
Hugely.
This movie earns that R rating.
Yeah.
Every fucking bit of it.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember that that at one point I was like covering my eyes, like especially with like the teeth scenes, you know.
The teeth scenes are so fucking brutal. So the year this came out, or maybe it might have been the year after, where it was at Cannes, the Cannes Film Fest.
Yeah.
And at that
2004.
time, Quentin Tarantino was the like jury president that year. Ooh. Guess what movie he really wanted to give the Palme d'Or to?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't think it went to Oldboy, and I know he was super fucking mad about that because this is a movie like tailor-made for his taste.
I actually thought that as I was watching it yesterday. Like, God, Tarantino must love this film.
Yeah.
No.
So he's trying to get him. I'm trying to stop him.
God.
Guys, are you talking about Oldboy? Go away! Go away! Okay, I locked the door. Okay, he shouldn't trouble us.
All right. I like how you actually locked the door.
Well, yeah, he's trying to get in.
God.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, Mick, when did you first see Oldboy?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I was too young to watch it because I
feel like I'm too young to watch it now.
Well, it's weird. I must have watched it all the way through because the big reveal at the end I knew about because I remember it up to the bathroom scene where she brings a knife. Like, don't you try anything because like I'll cut you, and then you try something. That's when I remember shutting it off. Like as a kid. Because the octopi scene really fucked with me. And then
there's like 75 more fucked up things
and
after
then
that.
this girl goes to sit on the bathroom and he bursts in and violates her. And I like just as a kid, I remember like, I don't dig this. I'm not about this. And I think that's when I stopped watching. So that's all like up until that point was what I remembered. So I think I had pretty much only just seen, like, that's not even half of it. I was like the first third of the film. So I just remember this movie being, like, really fucked up, really dark, especially because, you know, I saw this at the, what is it? It's the Landmark Theater on Santa Monica Boulevard, the New Art Theater, which I'd never been to before. And that is a beautiful cinema.
Oh yeah, the New Art's great.
I love it. It's such a good little theater. Beautiful seats. They went all out. The people that were serving concessions had little angel wings that they were wearing. They didn't give me. I bought a bottle of soju.
Nice. To
watch the film, have some soju. It was such a good vibe. And it was remastered, and it opens with Park Chan-wook saying, you know, I'm so happy that they're replaying this at a theater, which is where this movie originally opened. And so I'm really thankful for that. And if you have if you're a big fan of octopi, you're probably not going to like this movie. And it's very ultra violent, but it's also funny. So remember it's okay to laugh. But as it was going into it, I was just like, oh fuck, like, okay, I'm ready. Let's watch this really dark film. And I thought it was so hilarious. This movie, I was laughing out loud.
Ultimately,
pretty much from beginning to end.
Ultimately, Oldboy is a film about a prank.
Yeah, it is.
It's about a hilarious prank that you play on your boy.
I don't know if that's why it's funny.
It's an incredible prank. He got him good. He got him so good.
You know that
I
meme?
feel like...
You know that meme where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to prank my boy, and then it's like, the prank, and it's like this fucked up shit. This is the best example of that.
So, I feel like we should say the thing. Spoilers abound, and also just like I guess content warning for this whole episode.
Yeah, it's a trigger warning episode.
If you're upset by things, then this has a lot of things to upset you. just so many different categories of things to really fuck you up.
Yeah.
So the reason that Odesu is taken off the street and imprisoned in this private prison hotel for 15 years, he's not told why, and then released, is so that upon his release, he can be hypnotized and tricked into having sex with his daughter, who is also hypnotized. The reason for this is because he saw a former classmate at his high school committing incest with his sister. He did not know that that was what was happening. He just said, oh, I saw this girl having sex. And then this rumor grows and grows. The rumor becomes that she's pregnant. She has a hysterical pregnancy and then kills herself in front of her brother, who loves her with some brotherly love. You know what I'm saying now? All right, now. So, yeah, that's kind of the big reveal in the third act, is that Odesu got bamboozled into having sex with his daughter. Yep. And I gotta say, pranked, I'm Ashton Kutcher and you're on Punked. He got him. He got him so good.
Yeah, it's interesting where this is a great, I don't remember who coined this term, but a revenge-o-matic, which is just, it's a revenge film. And what's great is that the whole time you're watching it, you think you're watching Dae-soo's revenge story.
Yeah.
It is not.
It's not.
It's Woo Jin's, baby!
It is not his revenge story at all. It's the villain's revenge story.
Yep.
And that is such a great twist. So good. And I love movies where the villain is just a rich boy with too much time and too much resources on his hands.
I would argue, I don't, like, I know this isn't actually the case in the narrative, because they say that, like, Woo Jin's family is rich.
Yeah.
But I like to imagine that Woo Jin spent his time, like, accumulating these resources.
He made his fortune.
With the sole intention of ruining Dae-soo.
Yeah.
Because after he's done, he kills himself.
But the thing is, that's what's interesting about it, is because when I was watching it, is it the 7.5 floor, right? The
private prison is on?
Private prison. There's a bunch of cells with other guys in there.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, is this guy just have, like, little qualms with all these different people throughout his life, and he's giving this treatment to, like, everybody? Or... Go.
Yeah, so the private prison is separate from Woo Jin. This is more of like a private enterprise that someone is doing. So those little cells could be from someone else's qualms or whatever.
Yeah,
so there's, like, this whole, like, underworld of rich people that, like, have people in their lives that they want to torture.
Like, just confine in tiny spaces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
this movie.
Coincidentally, if you don't hear Alexis on the podcast for a while,
well, you know where she is.
I've been saving up. I knew something like this was going to happen. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Maker Alexis, who I put in a room. But Alexis, enjoy.
I'm surprised it's not me.
Enjoy your stay.
Wow.
Well, I think that you'd do better in a room for, 15 years.
I would do all right.
If there was a TV there, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
You'd have Turner Classic Movies on. The channel would not change. You wouldn't know
love
anything.
Dumplings. I would be chilling. I'm like, what do we have today? Oh, my favorite
dumplings. Oh man!
But that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Was like when him and Mido are going to all these different restaurants, because he's like, I had that dumpling for 15 years and I'll never forget it.
And that's how he tracks him down.
Is through the dumplings. And just they go from restaurant to restaurant, striking each address off the list.
There's a shot where he's throwing up in an alley because he's had too many dumplings.
And it pans over to Mido, just like, guess it's not that one, and just like strikes. It's funny, man. Like there's so many funny bits in this movie.
The funniest bit of that, in my opinion, is when he chases down the delivery guy once he finds the right restaurant, and then he goes, "You tell your boss not to go so heavy on the scallions."
That's so great. Holy shit.
There's a real like childlike whimsical humor to Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
It's a whimsical movie.
It is. It's like childlike
damn
humor.
good. damn good fun.
It's
Oh,
fun.
man.
It's a movie about
Also-
a fun, cool prank that you can do.
The bit that I love, because again, it's been
Please don't
so
do it.
long.
I'm gonna do it, Sang, and I'm gonna do it to you.
It had been so
It's okay,
long
you're not gonna know. You're not
since
gonna know
I'd
until
seen
it's
this
over.
movie, and when it opens with that kick-ass score,
Yes.
and he's holding on to this guy's tie with this great lens, it's just like such a kick-ass moment. He's like, holy fuck, this guy fucked with this guy. He's gonna kill him so hard.
Yeah.
And then it reveals that that man was actually trying to kill himself,
Yeah.
and he's rescuing him. And I burst out laughing so hard, where after the 15 years in his prison cell, Daesu's escaped. He saved this man's life.
And he tells him his whole
tells
story.
him his whole story.
That's like the second line of the movie. It's like, I want to tell you my story.
Yeah. And then the guy who tried killing himself and who was just saved by this man is like, wow, shit, man. Well, that's something, but I guess I should tell you my life story. And then he immediately, Daesu just gets up and walks away, grabs his journals and bails. And then he goes down, steals that woman's sunglasses, is walking out, and you see that man just kill himself as he lands on the roof and the dog dies.
Yeah,
And
he
that's-
brings his dog with him
which is-
again.
I
This
say
is why
that out
Alexis
loud.
isn't here.
I say that out loud, and that's like the most fucked up thing ever. But in the moment, I laughed so hard when that man impacts the car, and I'm like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
This movie is it's so
This is
dark.
a movie full of bits and goofs.
It is. It's actually great that you mentioned that opening intro, because that is actually Park Chan-wook's favorite part of the movie is the opening.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. On an interview, I think it was done on a Korean TV channel or something. But yeah, he mentions that his very favorite scene in that movie is the opening.
Yeah.
Because he finds it hilarious that what is it? Odesu is like trying to hold on to this guy's life, but then, like you said, the switch.
Yeah. You think he's like this unmerciful motherfucker that's gonna fuck with this guy. And it turns out it's the complete opposite.
No, I gotta tell you. Yeah, I gotta tell you a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I right in saying that they named him Odesu as like a reference to Oedipus? Is that supposed to sound kind of like Oedipus?
Maybe I haven't heard that one. In the movie, it self-explains Odesu's name.
What does it mean?
So in the movie, you hear Choi Min-sik, the actor, say like, 오대수 is short for 오늘을 오늘을 대수롭게. Let me just. I don't want to get it wrong.
Tap tap tap, tippity tap.
I don't want to get it wrong.
Tap tap tap, tip tap 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 tap.
Don't get it wrong,
Tap
Sam.
tap. If you get it wrong,
This is a show.
if you
that
get it
never
wrong, you're
gets
going
it
in the
wrong.
apartment next to Alexis.
We never
Speaking
get it
of
wrong
getting
in
it
this episode.
wrong-
Just ask. I mean, Paul Rubens did nothing wrong, right?
Oh my
Zach?
god!
You said that yourself.
So an actual thing that we did get wrong recently that my dad called us out for was when we said that no team had ever won 2 consecutive three-peats.
I didn't say that. You said that.
No, you also said that.
Well, I agreed to it.
Yeah. No.
Lying
apparently the Boston.
And I'll never do it
apparently the Boston Celtics won 8 consecutive championships. Like
When?
In like the 50s and 60s.
Well, they didn't even say that in the documentary. That's not my fault.
Okay, so I found it. So it's short for 오늘만 대충 수습하며 산다, which basically means that I just want to get over today. You know, like just get through today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like with no grand like aspirations or whatever. Like just I want to make it through
I
the
just
day.
gotta get through this fucking day.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's so
which
fitting for
is-
his character.
Exactly, because I mean we see a huge shift like pre and post imprisonment, right, for
Yeah.
Odesu, and like
He loses a bunch of weight.
well, yes,
in the
physically,
first,
yes.
Yeah, in the first scene, also like he's just fucking dead behind the eyes and is like a fucking revenge ghost.
Exactly, like a revenant. And pre imprisonment, he's very much like, I mean, of course, like he's very drunk, but also like, you know, you hear bits of information where he's like, oh, he's like a womanizer. He you know likes to drink, likes to party. He's like good with his mouth, like he talks a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's something Wu Jin says about him.
Exactly.
He talks
yeah.
too much.
Yeah, and so he's kind of that guy who's like very like, oh, like I don't really care, like I just want to get through the day, just want to hang, be chill, like have fun. But like after imprisonment, his whole life changes where it's like it's only about this one revenge that he's got to go for. And now this name sort of doesn't fit him in that sense, which is, I thought, which was beautiful.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
I like that a lot. I didn't think about that. So one thing that I feel like we have to talk about, since we did just talk about best fights, we got to talk about the hallway fight.
The hallway fight. That's why we're here.
Which is something that particularly Marvel has riffed on a whole fucking bunch in recent years. There is a one-take fight scene in a hallway when Dae-soo shows back up at the hotel where he was imprisoned. He tortures the owner, who is the actor who Sang was saying he's a big fan of. Fucking rips his teeth out, which you get a nice close-up of a hammer going into his teeth, which is apparently just a sponge.
Really?
In that shot. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how they did that. They just put a fucking like
Interesting.
sponge, which like if you really pay attention, you can kind of tell, but like you're not
I
paying
did.
attention because you're like, oh Jesus fucking Christ.
I felt like I was paying attention. I thought that's a real fucking hammer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But after he tortures this guy, he shows up in this hallway and there's like 20 dudes there with like
You gotta
sticks
have
and
goons.
knives. There's goons. There's goons galore.
That's a great band.
Goons galore.
Goons galore.
That's our band coming soon. But then he proceeds to just tear through these guys in a fight that's like not, incredibly like balletic and choreographed. It is dirty and sloppy, and
It's a
the
brawl.
reason
It's a fucking brawl.
he wins is because he just simply refuses to fucking stay down. And it scares the shit out of the guys who are trying to kill him. There's a point where he gets stabbed in the back, and they like all look at him and they're like, "Oh, is he dead?" And then he fucking bashes a guy's foot with this hammer that he's got. It's just an incredible fight sequence.
Yeah.
Then like for Marvel Netflix shows, like Daredevil had a one-take hallway fight, and then like did something like that every single season. That's just. Yeah, he owes a huge debt to this movie. And apparently, Park Chan-wook was saying in the interview that he did after the movie with Nicholas Winding Refn that the reason that scene is a one take is purely out of laziness. He's just
I love that.
I just didn't want to do all those fucking setups.
Yeah. Park Chan-wook's like, I don't love shooting action.
Yeah.
Like, I get bored really easily. Which, I mean, you can kind of tell because, a lot of the best parts of his films are just the fucked up aspects of the story and the acting and the incredible, just like set pieces and stuff. But yeah, he doesn't have like a lot of hand-to-hand combat in a lot of his stuff.
No,
so
he's not a guy who I would consider to be like an action director primarily.
Yeah.
This is
And
probably
he openly admits it. He's like, yeah, I'm not all about that. And so when I have this big fight scene, I'm like,
Get it in
can we just do
one.
one shot? And what did he say? Like he watched the rehearsal, like just sitting on the side, going like, okay, like this is really great. And he noticed just how like exhausted the lead was. He's like, that's what this scene needs. And so that's how they did it. Which is incredible. Yeah, it's such a good sequence.
it's pretty fucking.
And I love how it starts again with a laugh because you see the goon who is expecting the dumpling delivery, and it's a kind of hero shot looking up at him, and then the camera.
This is before the hallway fight. Before the tooth torture.
It kind of just dollies to the left, revealing Dae-soo behind him with this hammer, and then it cuts to the wide. You just see that bing, 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 line
it draws a
directly
line
to his
to
temple.
his fucking skull.
And I laughed so hard because just a little sound effect going down. It's funny. It's fun. And then he's just like trembling to like reach for like his knife that's in his ankle, and you're like, nah, don't even try, buddy.
And then you see that smirk.
yeah.
where
He does. He's like, he went for it.
Doesn't it like show his eyes and then pans or then goes down to just his mouth, and you just see him smirk? You're like, oh, buddy, here we go.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh man,
This is a movie full of great smiles.
Yes.
I mean, I think something else that Park Chan-wook said was he asked Choi Min-sik how to do a smile that where you couldn't tell if he was going to laugh or cry.
Right.
And they filmed that and they got it. I think it might be the shot where the guy impacts on the car behind him.
Interesting, because the one that I think is such an iconic shot is when it cuts to Odesu after having been in his cell for a long time, and he now has super long hair, and he's smiling with his teeth.
That might be it.
Yeah, and it's just like such an iconic, ooh, this man is going loco in his head. It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, but after getting that shot, Park Chan-wook was like, okay, we have a movie, we can do this.
Yeah, which is great. Like, is he laughing or crying? And you have that quote of the painting, which is like, if you laugh, the whole world laughs with you. If you cry alone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool to
That's
examine.
why you have to do like a prank. Like a years-long prank.
Yeah. Because after the end, when he's in the penthouse and he's just completely crushed by realizing what he's done, and he's just sobbing and begging, and you pan up to the hero who's not crying with him. He's crying alone because this motherfucker's laughing. Like and you think he's kind of maybe crying because he's holding his handkerchief to his mouth, and it comes over, and he's just trying to hold in laughter.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I have to call out my girlfriend a little bit, because when we watched this in theaters, I took her. She's a big fan of the movie, and she hadn't seen it for a long time either. Hadn't remembered a lot of bits. And so when he's like, "I'll be your dog, like I'll be your guard dog, I'll be your slave dog," and like starts licking his shoes, she's like cracking up, like laughing, and I'm like just heartbroken. I actually cried.
What? It's
during
funny.
that scene because of just the horror of what this guy's going through. And she's fucking laughing, and the camera then reveals the villain is also laughing. I'm like, I'm fucking dating the villain. She thinks this shit's funny.
No, she's right. He got pranked hard. He got pranked hard and it's funny, and you should
Cuts
be laughing.
out his own tongue.
Yeah, that's the best part of the prank. That's the best part.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Is that actually his daughter? Or is this all just really an elaborate thing where they just hypnotized him into this, and they're actually not blood related at all? He's just fucking with this guy's brain.
No, that's his daughter, baby.
That's what I think, because I'm like, this is a Park Chan-wook film.
There's no way it's not that.
Also, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Now that you ask it, it does make me double second guess it, but like he does have like the full album thing,
right? Where you see her get older and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, sorry, buddy. He got pranked fully. He got. That's the best prank.
It's not a prank, bro.
Well, how else would you describe it?
That's fucking torture.
No, it's a prank.
All right.
It's just a prank. Literally, he didn't have to cut his tongue out. It was just a prank, bro.
All right.
Because there's also that bit where, for a very short bit, Choi Min-sik, Odesu, actually looks for his daughter for a very short bit, and then he finds like she was sent to like Stockholm or something.
Yes. Yeah, she was allegedly adopted by some family in Stockholm.
Yeah, and so that makes him completely just, disregard the fact that Mito could be his daughter. Which, who would ever fucking guess that in the first place?
Yeah, that's an insane thing to do.
But it's the thing where it's like,
that's
she's
something
like,
that only the king of pranks could come up with.
Do I know you? Like, you look familiar. Like, I don't know what it is, but I recognize you.
That whole bit.
And you think about that scene in hindsight, you're like, oh, fuck.
No.
It's because they're fucking blood relatives. Oh, man.
Also, the sex scene that they have is already upsetting before the reveal. Because, like, when he's having sex with Mito, she's, like, talking about how much it hurts.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm enduring it for you.
Yeah,
and then, so the villain, Woojin, the reason that Odesu doesn't just, like, torture the information out of him as to why he imprisoned him is because he tells him that he has this pacemaker in his chest that he has a remote kill switch for, and he shows him this kill switch. And then at the end, Desu, after he cuts out his tongue, as Woojin's walking away, he, like, gets the remote and he clicks it. But it doesn't stop his heart. It plays the recording of the two of them having sex.
Bastard.
Oh my God.
And that's what we call the punchline, baby.
See, that's when I started weeping. That's when I started crying. I was like, oh my God.
Is showbiz.
Evil.
Just when you think it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a good
Fucking-
prank, you know. Comedy
Fucking hell.
comes from what you don't expect.
That's incredible. I also love the bit where you also go back to the restaurant scene where they first meet, and it's like, oh, we also hypnotized her. So that when she hears you say this certain trigger word, she grabs your hand. When she grabs your hand, you pass out.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just love movies that reframe things so perfectly.
I
Where it's just
also
like,
love
you
that-
were not watching what you thought you were watching.
Because that reveal is so silly. Like, it's crazy. Like, the amount of, like, things that had to happen through hypnosis to lead to this situation. Like, it's fucking completely goddamn, like, ridiculous. But you totally
buy
are,
it.
like,
I buy it.
in.
Yeah.
You're in at that point because you're seeing the... masterstroke of this incredible prank come to fruition.
Yeah.
So you're chuckling along with it and being like, man, he really got him. He went all out to prank his boy. Good one, Woo Jin. Let's hang out.
I have to see more.
I'm a Woo Jin stan.
I have to see more Park Chan-wook movies because out of this, Thirst, I love that movie. It's so good.
I still
it's
need
one
to
of my
see Thirst.
favorite vampire
Thirst is
movies.
good.
That's a fucked up vampire film.
From Park Chan-wook?
Yeah.
Weird,
No
right?
way. He didn't make a fucked up movie.
And The Handmaiden and Stoker.
The Handmaiden's fucking incredible.
I really think Oldboy is his comedy. Like, if I had to pick, like,
Yes.
this is
Yes,
my
Cody,
foray
fucking
into
yes.
comedy, this is it. I mean, it's fucked up, but man.
You know what I think is the funniest scene in that movie? And I think I like audibly like cracked up when I saw it was the giant ant on the subway.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So like when they show the hairy leg and you're like, oh my god, is this like on the subway? No, he's sitting. This
Now he's
ant
sitting there.
is sitting like a human being.
Yeah.
crying.
Crying ant. Yeah.
God.
Fucking hell. Such a good film. Yeah, I've long said, like, I love Asian cinema. I really, really do. It's one of my favorites, but it's Korean cinema that is just, it's on another
Korea's
level.
been popping off lately.
It's on another level, and I think there's even a term for it. I think that it's not Korean New Wave or anything like that, but it started in the 90s, and it was just like when Korean independent cinema really started to like come into its own.
Yeah.
And fucking hell, there are some absolute masterpieces coming from that country. I mean, it's just incredible because the more you watch of just different directors that I've never heard of actors I've never heard of, it's just, I mean, you know, of course there's going to be some bad movies, but so far, man, there is not a bum in the lot. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, which is why, I mean, there's a part of me that wishes like this was just Korean Cinema Month because you could,
I did pitch that.
There would
I got
be
shot down.
endless options. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, and this one is a movie that I saw when I was younger. As I said, I was just weirded out by it. But
Why?
I'm so thankful that I revisited it because it is. I mean, yeah, it's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
it's a fucking perfect movie.
It really
so
does just
good.
fucking slap
The
beginning
music,
to
the
end.
cinematography, the acting, the directing, the editing. It's all perfect, you know? Although he wouldn't agree, Park Chan-wook, because in the end, it's like, what would you change? Like, I don't like his penthouse, man. Like, it's not, I ran out of money. It's just not what I wanted. I wanted him to have like this infinity pool where when he's floating in it, the night sky of the cityscape would be reflected and it looks like he's just floating
And
in
like
space.
the window and the pool is like right there.
So it
you
just
can
looks like he's floating there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, that would have looked
That
so
would've looked
cool.
so cool.
And you know that keeps him up at night to this day going,
Yeah, but
"God
like
damn it."
you already made your fucking like ominous like Darth Vader style closet that Woo Jin has in his penthouse,
Yes.
like the most insane piece of furniture I've ever seen in my life. I don't think you need the infinity pool, Park. I think it's okay.
God.
I think you can let it go.
That reminds me, another great part of the penthouse scene is when he's fighting the blonde-haired goon.
Yeah.
His henchman.
Yeah.
And you see in the wide because Odesu has like this ice pick of some kind or a screwdriver that he grabs at one point, and they're fighting and they're scrapping, and then you have it in the wide, and then you see the henchman just kind of like flinch a little bit.
So, yeah, because Odesu stabs the ice pick thing on his ear.
And you see him slowly start to bleed out of his ear, and he's just kind of twitching because his brain is bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and he still fights for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's so crazy.
And he's actually winning that fight, which is why Ujin's like, hey, stop, don't kill him. And then, of course, he can't, hear because of, the impairment. So Ujin goes and steps up and kills him.
Oh, I didn't even get that part that he couldn't hear because he's deaf now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. And I felt really bad for the henchman at that point. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
that's his job.
That's a fucking rough day at work, quite honestly.
I just got to give
That's,
you
you know
day.
what? I'm starting to think this Woojin might not be such a nice guy. But god damn it, he's got a great sense of humor.
I'm not saying I would have done it, but I understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, he got him.
He got him so good.
I'm trying to think of... the ending of this movie as well. I mean, I think something that Park Chan-wook has, gotten better about in his movies since Oldboy is he's made a lot of movies where female characters have a lot of agency. Mm-hmm. And in this, Mido really has none. She's hypnotized from the beginning, and she doesn't find out that Dae-soo is her dad. Mm-hmm. That's why he cuts his tongue out, so that Woojin won't tell her.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie, Dae-soo goes back to the hypnotist and has her wipe his memories, but not that he knows Mido, because he still, clearly wants her in his life. Yeah. He just has the memory that she's his daughter fucking wiped out of his brain, which is so fucked up. And then you end on this smile as they hug in this snowy landscape, which I think they shot in New Zealand.
So beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
With her red fur coat and her red beret. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, they embrace, and then we see this smile on Odesu, and it's does he know? What do you got? Do you think he remembers in that moment?
But also it's just even if he doesn't remember, it's it's such a tragic ending.
Oh yeah,
no, it's so tragic.
It's fucking a Greek. I mean, again, it's that's why I do kind of buy into the idea that his name is supposed to sound like Oedipus.
Yeah,
because it is a Greek tragedy in its fucking scale of horrors and fate and doom and by the end Oedipus stabs his eyeballs. Yeah, it's a prank. It's a great prank. I'm not trying to take anything away from that. Again, Woojin, very funny, good joke, great job. But at the end of Oedipus, he stabs his eyes out. At the end of this, he cuts his tongue out. It's
I like in the post-credit interview that we got with the 20th anniversary re-release that Nicholas Winding Refn said it's very operatic.
Yeah,
it's very much an opera.
Yeah,
which I love movies that are like that. You know? Go all the way, fucking go for it. Yeah, I had such a good time with this. Absolutely incredible.
Also, this is a bit of a side note, but during that whole Q&A interview thing at the end with Nicholas, Sage and I at one point were kind of because I was watching it with Sage, we're is Nicholas flirting with?
Yeah, no.
With Park Chan?
They cut the interview short because I was you're looking good, man.
God-given talent.
God-given.
Nicholas
perfect, man.
Nicholas Winding Refn. There's a point in that interview where he's
no teeth, Nicholas, no teeth.
You know what?
Takes a hammer to him immediately. All right, keep going.
I said no teeth. But no, there's a point where he's talking.
Cut that.
I'm keeping it in. There's a point where he's talking to Park Chan-wook, and he's so what made you decide film as an artist? I mean, why not? You're so talented. Why not as an architect or a painter or you're very handsome. You could have been an actor. And it's what is happening?
I know.
Nicholas Winding Refn, you dirty dog, trying to slide in there.
I'm glad we all felt that because I made a joke about that too. This is getting a little uncomfortable. God.
Yeah, no, I took a few notes, I think, during that, because like the lights had come up a little bit in the theater, so I didn't feel bad having my phone out with the brightness down.
Yeah.
And one of my notes was, Nicholas Winding Refn is a fucking freak.
Yeah. Which we knew already, but this confirms it.
Yeah. No.
This little interaction.
One thing that I really loved that Park Chan-wook said in that interview is talking about the humor of the film and saying that in situations where you shouldn't be laughing or that are not humorous, that's when humor is the most valuable thing. And I think that's so true in a movie, like, because that's something that bugs me. Not to call him out, but in the works of Mr. Zack Snyder, particularly his fucking DC movies are just so fucking grim
and joyless,
joyless, and like that's not true to the human experience.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even when you're in a fucking bad situation, there will be a moment where you just have to, like, you know, take a step back and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Joss Whedon, when we say his vision is joyless, not like that.
Not what we meant. That's not what we meant.
No.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
Yep.
Guys, you're telling me he's an old boy? That doesn't make a lot of sense now, does it?
Jesus.
I'd like to see Joss Whedon take a crack at Oldboy. I think, you know, America did such a great job remaking it.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, have either of you seen Spike Lee's version?
I thought about it for 2 seconds and I was like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
did see it.
You did?
Yes.
Ooh, and?
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well,
Morgan Freeman and Josh Brolin couldn't.
Who does Morgan Freeman play?
Morgan Freeman's Ujin.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Morgan Freeman's the villain, and Josh Brolin is.
And they keep the twist.
Who plays me, though?
I actually don't.
Elizabeth
remember.
Olsen, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so. I looked at the cast.
They keep most of the story intact.
Why remake it?
That's
one, why remake it? But two, that's so crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I want you to lick my shoes. You are now my dog.
You had sex with your daughter.
You,
My sister and I loved each other.
People thought I impregnated her with my cock. You impregnated her with your tongue.
Not Woo Jin's cock. O'Day Sue's tongue.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't get that. I love Spike Lee. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic director, but I don't know if I could ever watch that.
That's just like a crazy...
But I already have a thing. I don't like when America
crazier?
remakes those types of movies. There's no point.
Do you know what's fucking crazier than that? The fact that there was a point where Steven Spielberg was going to remake Oldboy with Will Smith.
Again, why?
It was going to... The idea was that he was going to adapt the manga. Because the movie... I read a little bit of the manga this week.
Right, yeah.
And, like, I think I read, like, the first 3 issues. And it's already fairly different. The twist is not in there. So I think that they were planning on doing a different adaptation based on the manga.
You mean the juiceless version, which Park Chan-wook was like, I mean, yeah, it was all right. It just needed the juice.
Yeah,
I thought about it a while, and I found it, and I made it.
I'd maybe be interested to see what Spielberg's bringing to that, and, like, I appreciate that when he realized that the rights that they acquired were, you know, just basically only allowed them to remake the movie, he was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Also, sorry, edit required. It's Charlton Copley, not Morgan Freeman. I do not know why I thought Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
this is a big mistake on my end, guys.
That's so fucking
Hold on.
Well, you know, I always say that Charlton Copley is the South African Morgan Freeman. We all know Charlton Copley, same quality of actor. You know, based on all the projects he's been in, like...
Very much Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
All those Charlton Copley movies that
I get
we
them
love.
confused a lot as well.
Well, that makes more sense to me. You know, there was a moment where I really thought I was going to have to watch this movie now. Because,
I mean, Samuel Jackson's in it.
yeah, but if Morgan Freeman played Woo Jin, like played that role where he executes the most brilliant prank of all time, I would be required to watch this just to see what the hell that is. Oh man. Well, do we have anything else on Sang? I'd love to hear some more thoughts.
No, I mean, I thought Mick brought up a great point about like when Oldboy came out. Like that was a very significant era as like the early 2000s, but also 2003 specifically.
Yeah. Are you gonna say what I'm thinking?
Memories of Murder.
Yes.
Yeah. So same year. Memories of Murder.
One of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking movie.
Oldboy. There's another Korean movie, a bit of a classic. This one's more of like a very like quirky comedy type, called Defend Planet Earth. Very funny movie because it's about two. I think they're siblings. Yeah, like a brother and a sister.
Do they fuck?
Yeah, because this is also a quirky comedy about a brother and a sister in a lot of ways.
But this pair of brother and sister stalks this politician because they believe he's an alien from outer space who has come to like invade and like slowly like bring the human like race down so that the alien invasion can happen. And so they kidnap him, lock him up in a room. Very familiar, but lock him up in a room. You're
describing Oldboy to me.
They torture him, and one of the very like quirky ways of torturing him was they sort of like cut under his nails, I believe. They kind of like give him scrapes and bruises. And I don't know if they have him here in America, but in Korea you have these bug what do you call them? Like not sprays. Like after you get a mosquito bite, you like rub it on.
Like a bomb.
Yeah, like a bomb. Yes, exactly. And they would put that on the scars, and it would like sting. And then it was one of those things where it's like very relatable because like everybody knows what that feels like. It's like
getting your fingernails cut,
skin crawl, and stuff like that.
Fucking hell, that sounds hilarious.
It's a blast of a movie. It's been a very long time since I've seen it.
I love it.
What's it called? Defend Planet Earth.
Yeah, I think in in English it would be translated into Defending Planet Earth or something like that.
I'm gonna roll that.
That was also on 2003.
That could be a great triple feature.
Yeah. So if I may expound a little bit about like Korean, like the history
a fucking way, my boy.
Korean cinema. There was a time, and I have this conversation with my dad a lot because again, my dad's a bit of a cinema buff. Because my dad was born in 1964, he watched a lot of movies in the 80s, and in Korea...
Your dad and my dad were born in the same year.
Oh, well...
What do you know? They should hang out.
So, in the 80s, they used to call Korean films, like Koreans used to call Korean films panghwa, which is two, like Chinese characters, that translate into local pictures. Mm-hmm. So, the reason for it was so that they can separate local pictures to international pictures, which in this case is American Hollywood films.
Right.
And there would always be this like subtle nuance of like, oh, local films aren't as good.
Right. Yeah.
Because we don't have enough budget. Like Korean films just didn't bring it into the game as much as like Hollywood and stuff. Until there was a movie, I think it's in the early 80s or late 80s called Shiri. And this movie was is known to be like the first Korean blockbuster, like the very first. And it's all about like North Korean spy coming over and like trying to kill the president and stuff like that. But through this movie, the word panghwa actually like stopped existing because now it was like Korea, like we can make good ass movies, like big blockbuster hits and like entertaining, bim bada boom, that kind of stuff. And then from that, I would guess that growing up from a similar time, like Park Chan-wook and like Bong Joon-ho, like these very like would have been very like inspired through this huge increase in like awareness of the potential of Korean film.
Yeah. Well, Bong Joon-ho was a film critic first, I think. Yeah. Sorry, not Bong Joon-ho, Park Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook, yeah, Park Chan-wook. He was a film critic. And so, these guys, like, they would have grown up, they really grew up or, like, was starting to develop their, artistry during the period of, like, when Korean cinema was just booming. and was like starting to like take in some of its like be a little more proud of its work and like, you know, not feel like it needs to be like second rate to Hollywood and stuff like that. Yeah, so that is like, it's a really crazy time. In 2003 especially, like you have two major like movies that come out.
Well, yeah,
what's
arguably
the lead of Memories of Murder in Parasite?
Sungkang-woo.
Sungano. I love that set picture where, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Oldboy and Memories of Murder at one point were like filming right next to each other.
Ooh, I did
and
not know
he
that.
visited set because he's friends with the actor who plays Odesu, and there's this great picture where he's in his full Oldboy getup. And they take like a selfie together, both smiling, and it's considered like this very important moment in like Korean cinema, where it's like, this man.
I mean, it's one of two most iconic movies done by the two greatest directors. Yeah, in
fucking
Korea.
best.
Yeah.
Those two really like jumped their career into a whole other level.
Yeah.
Although Park Chan-wook actually said this during the interview. He did do JSA before.
I want to watch.
Yeah, I need to see
really
that.
want to watch.
It's been forever since I've seen JSA. I just remember that it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But JSA was another one where it's very like entertaining, right? Very like fast paced. Like,
Yeah, it's
oh
more
my
of a
God, I love
blockbuster.
it. Yeah. And then it was funny when he said like, oh, and now I finally get to do what I really want to do, which is about incest.
Let me show you guys something.
Yeah,
I'm glad I made a crowd-pleasing blockbuster. Check this shit out.
yeah, no, for real. And it's just been, man, hit after hit since then. I really want to watch Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
That's a good movie.
Same.
I haven't seen
I
that.
haven't seen that as well.
Wow. You
He
guys
did
are
that.
fucking up.
Didn't he say like this and Oldboy and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance are kind of like sister films a little
Yeah,
bit?
the Revenge
Yeah, the
trilogy.
Vengeance
so
trilogy.
to speak.
Okay,
You know,
what's
if
the
you
other
look,
one?
Lady Vengeance. If you look
Lady
around this
Vengeance,
apartment somewhere, I got a copy of Lady Vengeance, so we're gonna.
Oh, okay. And that came out after Oldboy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
So
was.
Oldboy's
okay.
the second of the trilogy, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, although in the States, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance released after.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it just
Interesting.
I think it's because it wasn't like as big of a hit in Korea.
yeah.
It just like
It was
it didn't.
definitely one of his earlier works.
Yeah, it
so.
didn't break out internationally,
Yeah.
which is again a shame. It's a good movie.
It is.
Also pretty fucked up. Also not like you're not gonna feel like great. As opposed to Oldboy, where you're just it's a fucking hoot and you're gonna be laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
With all of your friends.
You're a weird guy, Zach.
I don't know what
You're
you're
a
talking
weird
about.
guy.
I'm just a guy who appreciates praise.
You know, I came to this podcast being like, I feel like I'm going to have a hot take when I say, like, I laughed a lot during this film.
No.
Then Zach comes here and he's like, this is a prank film.
Yeah.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. Jesus.
Listen, I felt like I wasn't pulling my weight in the last episode where everyone was being fucking extremely fucked up. So, I had to make up for some lost time.
And, sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, and also I just wanted to like bring up the fact that both Memories of Murder and Oldboy, original Japanese stories actually. We just said that Oldboy was a manga. And
Direct Japan.
Memories of Murder is actually a Japanese novel.
I thought that Memories of Murder. Why did I think that was based on like a real case?
No, it is. It's
Yeah.
based on a real Korean case, but you're saying that...
Korean case. I don't know about it being a Korean case.
Isn't it?
I know that it's from my source, like from people I talked to.
I would
it's
trust
based on a
you
Japanese
on
novel.
this.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've always been on the impression that was like one of the most prolific Korean serial killers, and he adapted that.
The novel might be based on a Japanese case.
Interesting.
That if it made into a novel,
Fascinating.
Bong Joon-ho had adapted. That's how, because I am like pretty sure that it's based on
crazy.
a Japanese novel.
Which at the time of the making of Memories of Murder, I think the identity of the killer had not been discovered, but after
that's
the film came
why
out,
that
like,
last
years later,
shot is like him, staring out at the audience. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
he
is
could
he
be
out
sitting
there?
in that auditorium with you, and then
Yeah.
they actually found the real killer. Which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, actually, now that you do mention it, there was. I would think that it's coincidental because, again, the story of Memories of Murder was based on a Japanese novel.
Gotcha.
Wow, I did not know that.
Could have been purely coincidental. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Yeah, which really, I think, and you were just talking about this, like, you know, Korean New Wave cinema or Renaissance film or whatever, you know, whatever we call this. I honestly think it's like kind of like the perfect blend of like Hong Kong noirs and like Japanese storytelling or Japanese stories, because a lot of storytelling we do take from both those things, you know, like Korean films have been inspired by both, like Kurosawa and like Hong Kong noirs heavily.
Yeah.
And I think, again, not to give like any sort of like discredit to any of the directors that have made these movies, but they're definitely inspired by these two separate genres. And I think, you know, we found a way to like perfectly kind of like integrate it into a single thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, that's cinema. It's, you know, everything's in conversation with everything else.
That's why I you know, I still don't know how I quite feel about this take that I have, because it's like, how does one define genre? But I've always kind of thought what I personally love about Korean cinema when it's at its best is like, it's almost genreless in sense that it can be a horror film, a comedy, a tragedy, a drama, a thriller,
particularly
a fight film, all in the same movie.
Particularly,
you know? It doesn't conflict with each other. It's perfect. It's in harmony.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
In my experience of like particularly Bong Joon-ho and Park Chan-wook, both of them are really good at like just commanding very different tones.
Yeah.
Like they know how to juggle tone in a way where what you're saying, all of those disparate elements can 100% coexist.
Yeah.
Like you can have a movie that's about, you know, the absolute like darkness of the human soul that's really more about a hilarious prank that you play on a guy who you used to know, and ultimately you leave the theater with a big smile on your face and you're laughing and you're like, oh my god, that was so good, he got him so good.
I'm really terrified you're going to try to prank me now.
Maybe I already am, Mick.
Oh, Jesus.
You'll find out later.
But yeah, I'm so glad this was our first pick to start this month.
Sorry,
Yeah.
could I add one?
Of
Please
course,
do.
dude.
Last
I'm not
thing.
going anywhere.
Last thing. So I wanted to bring this up because this is like one of the most iconic stories behind Oldboy is the casting of the of Mido, the actress. What?
I know about this. Yeah, this is crazy.
I don't know about
Please.
this.
So yeah, Kang Ye-jung, the actress. From what I know, she had very little to no acting training, or maybe she. But yeah, she was just like a rising star, like no name, nothing. But when she went to the audition room for Oldboy, she came in holding a sushi, like a sashimi knife, wrapped in a plastic bag. And she started playing with it and like doing her monologue, doing her thing. And then Chen Min-sik was in there in the casting room. And he was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm doing the part. And also another important point, she was wearing like very thick red lipstick. Basically how she looks like
In the scene of the sushi restaurant when you meet her,
yeah. And Chen Min-sik was, he wasn't intrigued by the performance, but by the fact, like how she had acquired this sashimi knife. Because a sashimi knife is very, very important to a sushi chef. Like it's their life. They would keep it like on them. They wouldn't just give it to anyone, you know, chef's honor kind of thing, I guess. So he was like, where did you get that sashimi knife? She's like, oh, I just like borrowed it from like a sushi place near here. And he's like, that can't be true because these guys guard it with their life. So like if you're lying, you're fired. Like you're not getting the part. And so like I guess he sends like a PA or something to like go check. And then apparently the sushi chef had given it to her because she looked so desperate for the knife. And hearing that, Chen Min-sik is like, let's give her the part.
That's
because
crazy.
only someone with that much desperation could play this part or something like that. And she got the role.
Like that chef was like, I guard this with my life, and she needs this more than I. Wow, that's insane.
It's a crazy story.
Props to her. Holy shit!
Like bringing a knife into an audition room, I don't know, but really, also that was a time where it was like very like still a little chaotic about like what you can or can't do in the film industry.
Right.
Yeah.
I would assume
It's a
was
crazy
still, like,
business,
early on. Yeah. Where movies were getting like a lot of funding, a lot of investments now, but like with like how do we do this, like the order of stuff and stuff like that, that was still, I'm guessing, a bit like chaotic, a little vague. So when an actor brings a prop and it's a sashimi knife, like it goes, and she fucking made it work. That's like one of the big like legends.
Wow,
or, like,
I had never heard of that before.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is.
Jesus.
I had heard that story, but I didn't like understand the full context as to like how important that knife is to a sushi restaurant. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Sang, thank you so much for sharing that.
Hey,
and
thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. I think we should probably start wrapping up unless anybody has anything else pressing.
I do need to get going, unfortunately, but no, this was a fucking great episode. Thank you.
Sang, thank you so much for coming on. This was a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You know what? I'm going to take 2 seconds right now. I'm just going to pause.
Okay.
I'm going to insert just a little blurb of Alexa's thoughts here.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to call into her and see what she thought about this movie. Alexis, you have, let's say, 2 minutes to get all your Oldboy thoughts out because we're running long. Here they go.
What is there to say about Park Chan-wook's Oldboy? Well, choosing to watch Oldboy willingly is like committing psychological warfare against yourself. Listing Park Chan-wook as one of your favorite directors, dare I say, may just be the perfect icebreaker for what a freaky little weirdo you are. This movie's like really psychological without losing any of the imagery that we love with good cinema. So I think that's, of all things, that's what Park Chan-wook is the best at, is things that you're not sure how to portray in a visual way. He'll get there. And he'll do it really well. He's also really good with the fucked up shit, like most uncomfortable sex scene ever, probably, especially when you know the context for it. Yikes a doodle. The tongue, my God. The octopus, oh my God, watching the octopus scene is just rough. And the guy had to do it like 4 times, so rough. Can I just say, though, it is criminal that Dae-soo looks like that. No offense to the actor, of course. And the Woo-jin looks like that. I'm like, aren't they only supposed to be a few years apart? Like, the Woo-jin be looking damn fine. I know he's the villain, the criminal, and, the mastermind and everything, but, like, he's kind of hot. But yeah, the use of red throughout in the movie is really fun. I don't know, is that danger? Is it passion? Like, what is he trying to say with that? Because it's usually associated with Mito. I don't know, but I love it. Watching Oldboy is great. You just revisiting it every decade or 2 decades, I think, is like kind of the way to go. Like, however long it takes you to forget about the movie a little bit is how long it should be in between your watches, so that every time you watch it, you're just like, what the fuck? Because that is the perfect reaction to most Park Chan-wook movies, is just, what the fuck? Especially Oldboy. But yeah, those are my 2 cents. Love that man. He's great. He always makes psychological things. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to do things that are psychological in nature and to present them in a vivid way that we associate with like cinema, through images. And he's the king. He's the king at it. And that's all I have to say. Bye.
All right, and that happened. So, thank you so much.
I could not disagree more.
Yeah, Alexis.
She completely does not understand this film.
I'm adding
my
5 years to your sentence.
Yeah, Alexis, you can't use that word anymore. Jesus.
Yeah, so that's Oldboy. Again, you can't really
classic.
find it anywhere, but you can find it in theaters. Go see it in theaters. Eventually, there will be a DVD re-release, I'm sure, this year. With the remastered version that'll be coming out. Do we have a movie for next week, Mick?
Yes. I think we should just pull the trigger on it.
Do it.
Hold on, let me bring it up here really quickly. So this is a movie that, I think we gave a little bit of a teaser to.
Yeah, we did.
In this episode, incidentally. This was one of my all-time favorite
this is maybe,
Hong Kong films.
This is maybe my favorite movie that you have ever shown me.
Yeah, and that's saying something because I've shown you a lot of really good movies, all of them are good.
Yeah.
There's not a bum in the lot.
Look out, man.
Especially that one. Exactly, that's the one I mean. So I discovered this in college by happenstance because there was a wonderful, and we'll get into the episode, but this wonderful DVD rental store at our college town. This is why physical media is important. This is, at least it was released in the U.S., I guess, in 1994. This is Jackie Chan's The Legend of Drunken Master, or
Drunken Master 2.
Drunken Master 2, because this is technically a sequel.
Yeah. Don't worry, I have never seen Drunken Master 1.
Mm-hmm.
Movie totally tracks.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Evil Dead 2, where it's its own thing. You don't need to watch the first one. It's its own movie. It's just incidentally a sequel, but not really. It's an action comedy. It is absolutely wonderful. You can find it on a multitude of streaming services, YouTube, Apple TV. You can rent it on Amazon Prime. And get ready for one of the best action kung fu films ever made. And
who's the director? Who's the star?
The director is Lau Kar Long, I think. Lau Kar Long, who is a stuntman, and also Jackie Chan. They co-directed. And the director, stuntman, also plays a big part in the movie itself. And
obviously it stars Jackie Chan.
And stars Jackie Chan, yeah. And this is a movie that Jackie Chan has said himself is his proudest achievement. It is what he considers to be his crown jewel. And many stuntmen, many action directors have long credited Drunken Master 2 as one of the best ever made and will ever be made. And it's also a fucking great comedy as well, like any great fucking fight movie. It's gotta be funny.
Like Oldboy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a prank. It's a prank movie.
It's a fucking prank.
That we're going to be covering one of my favorite movies of all time next episode, and I can't fucking wait to talk about it. I can't wait to watch it again.
Next episode will also be the last episode of the first year of the Film Majors.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
That's
wow.
episode 52. The following week we will have. It'll be.
That's one pass around the sun.
Yeah, that's one pass around the sun that the Film Majors have made together.
Wow.
You can find The Legend of Drunken Master on all those services Mick told you about, and you can find us, the Film Majors, at Film Majors Pod on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And if you want to shoot us an email, you can email us at filmmajorspod@gmail.com. My mom shot us an email, and I think that we did a good job, talking about filming techniques and movie facts that she, as the average moviegoer, does not know. She appreciates that.
I love that.
So
thank you so much for listening.
Glad we did that for my mom, because she's definitely not fucking watching Oldboy ever in her life. So, all right. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye-bye.